What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Tuesday, May 13th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and both NBA playoff games. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Monday looks like it's going to be pretty decent. A nice bounce back from a rough Sunday. We got off to a pretty good start there with the under on that Colorado Rockies Texas Rangers game. It was a 2-1 win there for the Rangers. Both starters were very, very good, and that under comes in easily. In the under on that Kansas City Houston game, not quite so hot. Too many runs scored in that one. Kansas City, way too much offense, but at least the pick was live until the 7th inning, so we got a little bit of a sweat. We got the Yankees and the Diamondbacks still live, both of those games going fine in the very, very early stages. We had a terrible beat there on our one NBA prop for the night. We had Karl-Anthony Towns over 11.5 rebounds. He had 11 rebounds on the night and 0 rebounds in the fourth quarter. So that's pretty devastating, but we cashed both of our dog of the day and our lock of the day. We had the Guardians at plus 115. They got a 5-0 win. Lively only pitched 3 innings, but the bullpen was absolutely lights out. We also had the Cubs at minus 250 as our massive lock of the day, and they came through with a 5-2 win. They were up 5-0 at some point. Then we had to sweat just a tiny, tiny bit, but they come through and get us back on the right track. But even more exciting for those email newsletter people, we hit our no-run first inning parlay. It was an 8.5-1 play. We had the Cardinals Phillies no-run first inning, Royals Astros no-run first inning, Brewers Guardians no-run first inning, and a no-run first inning on the Pirates and the Mets, and that one cashed big time. So hopefully you guys are on the email list and you got in on that as well. Now, guys, let's go ahead and hop into our first game of the night. We've got the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Brewers come into this game fresh off of losing 5-0 in game 1 of their series there in Cleveland, so not a great start. 20-22 on the year, not what they had in mind. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Quinn Priester, who's 1-1 on the season, a 5.08 ERA. Now, he's coming off a mediocre, maybe decent, I guess, start against Houston. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 runs overall, though, and a 9-1 loss, and the Brewers are 0-4 over his last 4 starts, so not somebody I'm super excited to be backing. The Brewers bullpen also not very good, a 4.63 bullpen ERA. The offense 0, 4, 2, 3, and 1 runs over their last few. Just in general, this team is struggling. I mean, we see Turang hitting the ball fairly well this year. Yelich is doing some positive things, but 13th in the majors in runs scored looks good, but when you're 3rd to last in slugging percentage and 23rd in team batting average, how long can we really expect you to be in the top half of the majors in runs scored? So we'll see what they do in game 2 against the Guardians, who are 24-17 on the year. Got to be feeling good after a 5-0 win, although Lively going out and about to get testing there on his inflamed forearm. That's not a great sign. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Logan Allen, who's 1-2 on the season, a 4.33 ERA. His last start, not great against the Nationals. 4 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs allowed, walked 4 and struck out 3. In general, he's been pretty decent this year, but that last start does not exactly fill me with optimism. Now, the last time he faced an NL Central opponent, he had a very good start against the Pirates. I would say the Brewers are pretty significantly better offensively than the Pirates, but they haven't been great recently, so we'll see what he can do, see if that bullpen can survive. I mean, they got used up quite a bit there after Lively going out after only 3 innings, so the bullpen going to be a little bit depleted there for Cleveland. The offense, coming off a 5-run game, has to feel nice, but that was a big bounce back after scoring 1 run over their last 2 games there against the Phillies. This team offensively has not been amazing. I mean, we've seen good stuff from Stephen Kwan this year. They're 17th in the majors in runs scored, but 22nd in on-base percentage and 22nd in batting average, so not a super scary offense. Looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Brewers are plus 105, the Guardians are minus 125. We've got a total of 9. Milwaukee's only 8-15 on the road, 13-8-2 to the under on the road. Cleveland 13-7 at home, 12-7-1 to the under at home. I could take under 9 in this game. It's going to feel a little bit sketchy with these 2 starters out there, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I would also lean just a bit towards the Guardians at minus 125 since they've been such a good home team and the Brewers have been so terrible on the road, but really, guys, this is not a spot where I see a ton of value. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Twins come into this game red hot, guys. They've won, what is it up to now, 8 in a row. They're 21-20 on the year. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Simeon Woods-Richardson, who's 2-2 this season, a 4.01 ERA. His last 3 starts have been excellent. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of them. And we do see the Twins are 2-1 over those starts and 3-2 over his last 5 starts. So pretty good stuff there from Simeon Woods Richardson lately, albeit a guy that doesn't go super deep into games, but that's not a problem for the Twins. Their bullpen has been excellent. I think right now they're like 8th, 9th, something like that in the majors. So a pretty good bullpen, and the offense is starting to find its way. 7, 2, 3, 5, 5, and 9 runs over their last few games. Definitely helping them climb out of the bottom third of the majors. They're now 17th in the majors in runs scored. They've got their other numbers still need to show some improvement before I believe in this offense overall, but right now they're looking pretty decent, and they're going up against a team that has not looked decent this year in general. Now, the Orioles did just win 2 out of 3 there at the Angels, but at 15-24 on the year, not time to start celebrating. They're handing the ball in this one to Cade Povich, who's 1-3 this season, a 5.55 ERA. His last start, ironically, was against the Twins, and it didn't go great. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs allowed in that one. So not really what you're wishing for here. We'll see if he can have a bounce back. The Orioles are 2-3 over his last 5 starts, and some of those have not been very pretty. So we'll see what he can do in this one. The Orioles bullpen's been a big part of their struggles. A 5.06 ERA is 4th worst in the majors. In their offense, the bottom has absolutely fallen out. Now, they did score 7, 2, and 4 runs in that series against the Angels, but that was a daily occurrence for Baltimore last season. This year, 26th in the majors in on-base percentage. They are 26th in the majors in batting average and 24th in all the major leagues, guys, in runs scored. It's been pretty brutal at the plate for Baltimore this year. Maybe they'll shake it off at some point, but I don't really see any signs of that happening right now. And looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Twins at plus 115, the Orioles at minus 135. We've got a total of 9 in this game. I mean, I don't know, guys. Minnesota 6-14 on the road, so not a good road team. 11, 7-2 to the under on the road. Baltimore 8-9 at home. 10, 5-2 to the over at home. The Twins at plus 115 have a great chance to be our dog of the day because I don't trust Povich. He's got negative history this year against the Twins. Simeon Woods Richardson has good history against the Baltimore Orioles, and the Minnesota Twins bullpen is way, way better, and the offense is looking at least as good, if not significantly better, against the slumping Orioles. So yeah, definitely give me the Twins here, and this price seems excellent. Jumping in here, guys, with a quick shout out to our sponsor, which is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description and go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running. We're off to a great start over there this season. Our premium capper's been absolutely on fire, and he just served up a no-run first inning parlay to you guys in that free email newsletter. It cashed. It was 8.5 to 1, 4 different games, and they all came through for us. So definitely click the link in the description. Get over to StumpTheSpread.com. They just need your name and email address to get on that free email newsletter. And there's great information in that newsletter every single day. Just make sure you check your spam folder in case it could potentially end up there. But once you get to StumpTheSpread.com, you'll also have access to our free-to-use bet size calculator. You can see free picks that are only posted over there, and that's where you can find our premium top confidence picks and all the different pricing options if you guys are interested in signing up for that. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen like you've been seeing, but we also are doing a members only giveaway, and we are currently sitting at 69 members, which is pretty nice. But if we can get one more member in the next, 8 days before the 20th of this month, we will do not one, but 2 giveaways there on the 20th. We'll give away 2 pieces of Stump the Spread merchandise, either a hoodie or a t-shirt. Those are the only 2 pieces of merchandise we have so far. We're working on more, and we will get that out to those winners, which will be randomly drawn channel members as soon as possible. It usually takes about 7 days to get there, so it's a pretty quick process. I really appreciate all my channel members, guys. Now let's go ahead and jump back into the games. And next up, we are looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Red Sox come into this game fresh off of a Game 1 loss. They got blown out by the Tigers 14-2 in Game 1 of this series. So not a great start. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Brian Bello, who's been very good this year. 2-0, a 2.01 ERA. This is only his 5th start of the season, but he's coming off a 4 2/3 innings, no runs allowed start there against the Texas Rangers. And the Red Sox are 4-0 in games he's started this year. So very, very positive history this season for Bello. We've also liked what we've seen, generally speaking, from that Boston bullpen. At least at times, it hasn't been lights out, but it's in the top half of the majors. So that's something positive to look at. And the bats, while they were quiet yesterday, have awoken a little bit recently, but this is not looking like a top 5, top 6 offense to me at the moment, although they do have the personnel to make that happen. So we'll see if that eventually does happen, but right now it's not feeling that great. So we'll see what the Red Sox do here on the road against the Tigers, who got back on track after losing 2 in a row. They're 27-15 on the year, handing the ball in this one to Tyler Holton, who is normally a bullpen guy. So looking like it's going to be a full bullpen start there for Detroit, which a team that's been a very, very good bullpen squad over the course of the season. Second best in the majors right now, a 2.72 bullpen ERA. We'll see how deep into this game Holton actually goes. Obviously, they'd love if he could give him, like 2, 3, 4 innings. I don't think that's really going to be in the cards, though. So we'll see what he does. I'm expecting generally good stuff from him. I'm also expecting generally good stuff from the Tigers at the plate. I mean, they've scored 14, 1, 3, 2, 11, and 10 runs over their last few games. So not incredibly consistent, but fourth highest scoring team in the majors and a 10th in on-base percentage. This team has some hitters, Kerry Carpenter, Spencer Torkelson, a couple of guys who've gotten off to very good starts to the year. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Red Sox -112, the Tigers -104. We've got a total of 8. Boston, a 500 road team. They're also a 500 over-under team on the road. Detroit, 14-5 at home, 11-5-3 to the under at home. I'm unlikely to take the under in this game. Just doesn't seem like great value to me given the pitching situation, but I'm going to lean slightly towards the Tigers at home. But this game, I'm not showing a lot of value, guys. I'm going to be honest. Like, Bello's been so good. The Red Sox are in a big bounce back spot, and the Tigers might not have an amazing day at the plate in this one. So, yeah, kind of a stay away spot in general. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds. The White Sox come into this game obviously not having a great time, but they did just win 2 out of 3 against the Marlins. They're 12-29 in the year, giving the ball to Jonathan Cannon in this game. And despite his amazing name, hasn't had an amazing season. He's only 24 years old, so let's cut him some slack. And his last couple of starts, maybe he's figuring things out because he was great at the Royals his last time out. 9 hits, but only 2 runs allowed in 6 innings. And against Houston, 6 innings, 9 hits, 2 runs allowed in that one. Now, you're not going to get a ton of run support if you're a White Sox pitcher, and your bullpen's pretty terrible, so we'll see what they can put together as far as that goes. Obviously, this offense has not been great. Not as bad as last year, 28th in the majors instead of dead last in runs scored, and 28th in the majors in on-base percentage as well, but they are dead last in batting average, so not out of the woods yet as they go on the road to take on the Cincinnati Reds, who are 20-22 on the year. They just lost 3 out of their last 4, including 2 out of 3 there at the Houston Astros. They're going to be giving the ball to Andrew Abbott, who's been excellent this year, 2-0 on the season, a 2.25 ERA. He's coming off a very nice, albeit fruitless start there at Atlanta. 5 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, no walks, and struck out 8, but the Reds found a way to eventually lose that game 2-1 in 10 innings. So that's got to be a little bit depressing. We'll see what he can do here against the White Sox, not the toughest opponent. Now, the Reds' bullpen's been very good. Top 10 in the majors pretty comfortably all year long. The offense, though, is so hot and cold. I mean, Elly De La Cruz doing some very, very good stuff, but they scored 0 runs in their last game. They scored 0, 13, 0, 4, and 4 over their last few. They just got to find some consistency, guys. They can put up a ton of runs all at once, but consistency over a lot of games. You're way better off putting up, 6 runs a game over 5 different games than scoring 30 runs all in one game and then not scoring in those other games. So we'll see what they do in this one. Looking at the numbers, the White Sox are plus 160. The Reds are minus 190. We've got a total of 9 out there. The White Sox 3-17 on the road, 12-8 to the under on the road. The Reds 9-10 at home, 10-8-1 to the under at home. In terms of a side in this one, guys, it feels like a bit of a toss-up to me. I'm going to lean towards the Reds still, but I'm not very sure about this one. I will, however, definitely take a good look at under 9 in this game. We haven't had any trouble hitting unders there at the Great American Ballpark. The Reds, not a great hitting team. Cannon throwing the ball really, really well. I expect Abbott to have a good outing and that Reds bullpen to be good. So under 9 seems very, very reasonable. Next on the dock, we're looking at the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals, who come into this game fresh off of another win. They're up to 9 straight wins after winning game 1 there against the Phillies, 3-2. Win hitting that home run, and yeah, pretty crazy stuff there. They find a way to finish things off and win that game. Now the Cardinals going to be hitting the ball in this one to Sonny Gray, who's 4-1 on the season, a 3.50 ERA. His last time out looked like the ace he's supposed to be, albeit against the Pirates, so not against a tough opponent, but 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8 and walked 1. Now he's got to go against the Phillies, a little bit different situation. We'll see what he can do. He hasn't faced them yet this year, but Liking what we're seeing from Sonny Gray at the moment. Liking also what we're seeing from that Cardinals bullpen here recently. They're down to a 3.97 bullpen ERA, which I'm still not, certain this is going to be a great bullpen or anything like that, but they're definitely throwing the ball a little bit better. The offense only scoring 3 runs in the first game of this series, but still not terrible, getting the 3-2 win. They scored 3, 6, 4, and 10 runs over their last few games. This team is 9th in the majors in runs scored. They are 3rd in the majors in on-base percentage. I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing here for the Cardinals. Now, they're taking on a Phillies team that's got to be pretty determined to get a bounce-back win. They're 24-17 on the road, hitting the ball, or 24-17 on the season, hitting the ball in this one to Jesus Luzardo, who's 3-0 this year, a 2.11 ERA. He's fresh off a very serviceable start at Tampa Bay his last time out. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. However, it took extra innings for the Phillies to eventually get that win because their bullpen, guys, is pretty darn terrible. I mean, their bottom, 10, 9, bottom 9 in the majors, a 4.62 bullpen ERA is not great. The offense, while it's been good, I don't know if it's quite good enough to outdeal or outhandle, a terrible bullpen like that. 11th in the majors in runs scored, though, and 6th in batting average. Looks pretty nice. And Kyle Schwarber giving Judge a run for his money in that home run race. So we'll see what the Phillies come up with in this one. The Cardinals are plus 130. The Phillies are minus 155. We've got a total of 7.5. The Cardinals 7-13 on the road, 11-8-1 to the over on the road. The Phillies 13-6 at home, 11-8 to the over at home. I'm still probably not taking over 7.5 in this game if I'm being honest, but I'm going to ride the hot bats and the hot hand. Once again, giving the Cardinals here at plus 130. I doubt that it's going to be our dog of the day. It feels a little bit sketch, and at some point this run has to end. But right now, guys, I just cannot wrap my head around fading the Cardinals with how well they're playing right now. And Sonny Gray, has been very good. Jesus Luzardo can only stay in the game for so long, and that Phillies bullpen is nothing to write home about. So give me the Cardinals in this one as a decent lean. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, the Rays come into this game 18-22 on the year. Kind of a cool thing. Longoria is signing a one-day contract there so he can retire as a Tampa Bay Ray. That's pretty cool. But the Rays in general had to feel decent about their series against the Brewers, winning 2 out of 3. They're hitting the ball in this one to Shane Baz, hoping he can do some good stuff against the Blue Jays. Baz 3-2 on the year, a 4.93 ERA, and his last couple of starts have been big problems. Terrible there against the Phillies, also terrible against the Kansas City Royals. Now, this is a pretty young guy. He could bounce back here at some point, but I'm starting to worry something might be wrong. So cautious about Baz. Loving what we're seeing from that Tampa Bay bullpen, though. They've been excellent over the course of the year. They're top, 7 or 8, something like that in the majors, a 3.23 bullpen ERA. In the offense, well, guys, that's tailing off a little bit, I'm going to be honest. I mean, Arenado has been very good, but they're 23rd in the majors in runs scored and 20th in on-base percentage and 25th in slugging percentage, so not what I would term an elite offense. Now, they're taking on a Toronto Blue Jays team that's 20-20 on the year. They're already making some moves. Dodgers buying up guys from the Blue Jays and stuff like that, but Toronto playing well, winning their last 4 in a row, sweeping the Mariners there. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Jose Barrios, who's 1-1 on the season, a 3.86 ERA. Now, he's been very good his last probably 3 starts, I'll say. Giving up 2 earned runs on 6 innings on 5 hits against the Angels. Still not too bad. The problem was he walked 5 in that game. So we'll see if he can bounce back, have a little bit more control in this one as he goes up against Tampa Bay. I'm not too worried about Barrios there, though, on the mound. The bullpen situation for Toronto, pretty middle of the road, a 3.87 bullpen ERA, though definitely not a disaster. The offense has scored 9, 6, 6, and 8 runs over their last few. The hottest hitting they've done this year by a mile. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored still, but 11th in batting average and 14th in on-base percentage makes me think this offense can be pretty functional. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rays are plus 105. The Blue Jays are minus 125. We've got a total of 8. Tampa Bay 7-5 on the road, 8-4 to the under on the road. Toronto 11-8 at home, 11-8 to the over at home. The Blue Jays are a pretty hot-hitting team right now. Baz has been struggling aggressively. Maybe you could have a bounce back in this one, but I'm willing to wager against it. Go ahead and give me the Blue Jays here at minus 125. With Barrios on the mound, I think they're in for a good day. Next up, guys, we get the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Pirates come into this game 14-28 on the year. Probably not feeling great after losing that, another game with Skeens on the mound. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Mitch Keller, who's 1-4 on the year, a 4.40 ERA. He gave up 3 runs over 6 innings on 7 hits there against the Cardinals, and the Pirates are 0-5 in his last 5 starts. Not all of that's been his fault, though. He's been decent in some of those outings. The Pirates bullpen, though, not great, and you can't really count on them for too much offense. I mean, they scored 3, 4, 2, 3, and 0 runs over their last few games. They are down to last in the majors in runs scored. They are second to last in slugging percentage. This is just flat out a bad team there at the plate. So we'll see what they can get done against the Mets, who come into this game 27-15 on the year. They've won their last 2 in a row. They're hitting the ball in this one to Kodai Senga, who's 4-2 on the year, a 1.16 ERA. His last start, he gave up no runs on 2 hits over 6 innings in a 7-1 win there at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yeah, that is not an easy team to face. He's been lights out over his last 5 starts, giving up a total of 3 earned runs over those 5 starts. Somehow the Mets are only 3-2 over that span, but he's been very, very good, guys. No question about that. The Mets bullpen also super legit, 6th in the majors right now, a 3.16 bullpen ERA. And while the offense maybe not lighting it on fire at this exact moment, they are doing some good things, guys. I mean, 4, 6, 5, 7, and 7 runs over their last few is not a problem. They are 7th in the majors in runs scored. They're 8th in the majors in batting average. Francisco Lindor's been doing a lot of good stuff. And looking at the numbers for this game, you're not going to be shocked to see the Mets as huge favorites. They're minus 250 here. The Pirates are plus 205. Got a total in this game of 7.5. Pittsburgh 5-14 on the road, 12-6-1 to the under on the road. The Mets 15-4 at home, 11-7-1 to the under at home. I guess you could take under 7.5, but I'm not going to be taking that, guys. I'll just go ahead and slam it here on the Mets at minus 250. It's an expensive price tag, so we'll be trying to find something better for our lock of the day, but I would be lying if I said this one didn't have a chance. Senga has been an absolute monster. Rolling right along here, guys, we got the Washington Nationals. They're going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Nationals 17-25 on the year. They've now lost 6 in a row. They're hitting the ball in this one to Michael Soroka, who is 0-2 this season, a 7.20 ERA. This is only his 3rd start of the year, but he's got knocked around pretty aggressively by both Toronto and Cleveland to start his season, and that's not exactly a great sign. We'll see what he can do in this one. Maybe he can round into form. He's kind of a young guy. Maybe he's just a little bit rusty here in the early goings. We'll see what happens with him, but even if he has a good outing, that bullpen's going to come in and probably ruin stuff for the Nationals. A 7.08 bullpen ERA is dead last in the majors, and it's not like the offense is lighting on fire either. 3-1, 2-0, and 6 runs over their last few. They're down to 16th in the majors in runs scored. They are 18th in slugging percentage and 19th in on-base percentage. Nobody at the plate is particularly scary for me, except for maybe James Wood, who is, he's got 11 home runs, but he's only batting .273, so we'll see what the Nationals can do here, but I'm not expecting miracles. They're going up against the Atlanta Braves, who need every win they can get. They're 20-21 on the year, hitting the ball in this game to Spencer Schwellenbach, who's 1-3 on the season, a 3.61 ERA. He's fresh off a dominant start there against the Reds. 6 innings, 4 hits, only a single run, and it was unearned allowed in that game. He walked 2 and struck out 6. A nice bounce back after a terrible start against the Dodgers. But in general, Schwellenbach's been pretty good this year. He's 24 years old. You got to expect some inconsistency. Now, the bullpen for Atlanta, not nearly as good as last season, but starting to get better. A 3.35 bullpen ERA is certainly playable. The offense, on the other hand, though, playable isn't exactly the word I would use. They've scored 4, 3, 3, 2, 5, and 3 runs over their last few games. That is not going to work, guys. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They're 21st in the majors in batting average. This is a bad offensive team. So looking at the numbers here, the Nationals are plus 195. The Braves are minus 225. We've got a total of 8.5. Washington 7-12 on the road, 11-8 to the under on the road. Atlanta 12-6 at home, 10-7-1 to the under at home. I don't care about the total in this game, guys. This is once again a spot I'm probably going to have to take the big favorite, which is the Braves at minus 225, but I don't like this one as much as I like the Mets, so this is not going to be going in the pinned comment. Rolling right along, guys, with the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Marlins at 15-25 on the year, not exactly killing it. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Valente Beloso. He's 0-2 on the year, a 3.50 ERA, and he was excellent his last time out. 5 1/3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, struck out 7 and walked 2, and was eventually a 10-1 loss there for the Marlins against the LA Dodgers. So you can't do too much better than that. He's actually been excellent in 3 out of his 4 starts this year, so we'll see what he does in start number 5. Not like it's going to be an easy team to face. Now, the bullpen for Miami, that's been terrible. 25th in the majors, a 5.05 bullpen ERA, and the offense falling off a cliff, guys. 2, 2, 3, 2, and 1 runs over their last few games. They are 17th in the majors in runs scored and 20th in slugging percentage. I don't see this team going anywhere great offensively this year. So we'll see what they do against the Cubs, who are 24-18 on the year. They've had a little bit of a struggle lately, but game 1 of this series went well, a 5-2 win. They're going to be hitting the ball to Ben Brown, who's 3-3 on the year, a 4.95 ERA. Now, he's been kind of all over the place, alternating great and terrible starts over his last few. Got shelled by the Phillies, a great start against the Brewers, and then got knocked around there by the San Francisco Giants. I mean, 5 innings, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs. Not the end of the world. He also struck out 9 in that game, but it was a 3-1 loss there for the Cubs. So we'll see if the Cubs have a bounce back in them in this one, or Ben Brown has a bounce back in them. The Cubs are looking okay. Now, the bullpen for Chicago, a big problem, a 4.75 bullpen ERA, way down there towards the bottom of the majors. The offense, on the other hand, has been excellent this year, but is regressing a little bit. I mean, they've scored 5, 2, 6, 2, and 1 runs over their last few games. Nico Horner, Kyle Tucker, Suzuki, all guys hitting the ball well. They're second in the majors in runs scored. They are third in the majors in slugging percentage, but just not an offense that has been finding consistency right now. Will they find it here against the Marlins? They definitely could. This is another game where we have a huge favorite. The Marlins are plus 200. The Cubs are minus 245. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Marlins are only 5-12 on the road. They're 12-5 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best to the over when playing away from home. The Cubs 10-7 at home, 11-5-1 to the over at home, which is also an MLB best. So despite these two starters being decent, guys, I definitely think the over is very, very live in this spot. I would lean towards the over more than anything else on this game. If you are begging me for a huge underdog, I think the Marlins at plus 200 are maybe slightly live here, but I think the over is way more the direction you want to go. Next on the docket, we have the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The Rockies come into this game 7-34 on the year. They just lost 2-1 to the Rangers in game 1, so slam that like button if you enjoyed cashing that under with us. That was pretty nice. We could have also cashed the Texas Rangers there, but the under was our main play, and it came through very comfortably. The Rockies are hitting the ball in this one to Kyle Freeland, who's 0-5 on the year, a 6.41 ERA. He got destroyed by the Tigers the last time he was out there, guys. 3 innings, 11 hits, 9 runs, 5 of them were earned in a 10-2 loss there for Colorado. So not expecting miracles for him, even against a bad offensive team, but we'll see. Freeland does have generally decent stuff, or at least at times. Now, the bullpen for Colorado, not nearly as bad as last year, but also not elite. A 4.12 bullpen ERA has them in the bottom third of the majors, and this offense is looking historically bad, guys. They are second to last in the majors in runs scored. They're third to last in batting average, second to last on base percentage. This is just not a good offensive team. So we'll see what they can do here against the Rangers, who are 500 on the year now after winning 3 straight. They're not exactly a great offensive team, but we'll see what they need to do here with Jack Leiter on the mound, who's 2-2, a 5.09 ERA. Now, his last 2 starts have been pretty bad, struggling against Boston and Seattle, but before that he was throwing the ball great. So we'll see if he's got a bounce back in him here against a terrible, terrible opponent. Now, the Rangers bullpen has been decent, but not great. Slightly below average, a 3.96 bullpen ERA. Not ideal. Obviously, they're coming off a pretty nice 2-1 win, so the bullpen looked good in that one, but we'll see what they do here. The offense coming alive maybe a bit, but they've scored 2, 6, 10, 1, and 0 runs over their last few games. So not a great offense, guys. They're 27th in runs scored. They are 27th in on-base percentage. I don't see drastic improvement coming for this team at the plate. So looking at the numbers, we've got the Rockies at plus 190, the Rangers at minus 225. We've got a total of 8.5. Colorado is an MLB worst, 2-17 on the road. They're also 13-6 to the under on the road, which is an MLB best to the under. The Rangers 12-8 at home, 16-4 to the under at home. That's an MLB best to the under at home. We have to reasonably consider taking the actual under 8.5 in this game. You could also take no run first inning here. I wouldn't be mad about that, but I do worry about Freeland. I worry about Jack Leiter, but the trends of these two teams are undeniable. So I'll take a slight lean towards the Rangers, maybe at minus 225, but not a lot of value in that one. They're not a good enough offensive team. So just go ahead and give me that under. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. Now, the Royals come into this game 25-18 on the year. They won game 1 of this series 7-5 in a game where we didn't cash the under, but could have cashed the Royals, and the under was live until pretty late in that game. Kansas City hitting the ball in this one to Kris Bubic, who's 4-2 this year, a 1.69 ERA. He hasn't allowed an earned run in any, or a run at all, in either of his last 2 starts and in 3 out of his last 4 starts. So he's been lights out, guys. Not against the best opponents, but still gotta give this guy some credit. He's been throwing the ball great. The Royals bullpen's been amazing, 5th best in the majors, a 3.02 bullpen ERA, and the offense is finding its way. I mean, 7 runs in the last game. Not a super consistently high-scoring team, obviously. 26 in the majors in runs scored doesn't seem crazy, but they're finding a way to produce some offense. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Houston Astros, who are 20-20 on the year after losing game 1. They're going to be hitting the ball to Framber Valdez, who's 2-4 on the year, a 3.94 ERA. Now, his last start was against the Brewers, and he was very good there in Milwaukee. That was a nice win there for this team. But yeah, the Brewers and Valdez didn't have a great time against the Royals the last time. They lost that game 2-0. Now, Valdez did pitch 8 innings, gave up 3 hits, only 2 earned runs in that game. So I think he's feeling pretty confident in this exact matchup. So We'll see what they get from him in this one. We'll see if that Houston bullpen can continue to be excellent, third best in the majors, and the offense, will it continue to be terrible, guys? I mean, 5, 6, 9, and 3 runs over their last few is honestly an amazing stretch for a team that is 20th in the majors in runs scored and 21st in slugging percentage. So we'll see what kind of offense gets produced in this game. Given what we've seen from these starters recently, doesn't seem like there would be a ton. Now, the Royals are plus 120. The Astros are minus 140. We've got a total of 7.5. Kansas City, 8-11 on the road, 12, 6-1 to the under on the road. Houston, 13-8 at home, 12-9 to the under at home. So trends are pointing us towards the under here, and I could definitely understand it. I could also understand taking the Royals here at plus 120. I'm not interested in the Astros at minus 140. That's far too expensive for my taste for this specific team. But is anything from this game going in the pinned comment? Seems like a stretch to me. I don't trust either starter at the moment. Next up, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. The Angels come into this game 16-23 on the year. They're currently playing right now down 4-2 against the Padres in game 1 of this series. So they're going to be hitting the ball to Jose Soriano in game 2, who's 2-4 on the year, a 4 ERA. Now, his last start was against Toronto, and it didn't go great. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs allowed, walked 4 and struck out 6. So definitely some control issues mixed in with that game. We'll see what he can do here against the Padres. I'm not exactly expecting miracles. That Angels bullpen has obviously been horrendous, almost last in the majors, second to last, an ERA of near 7, and the offense not good at all, guys. 25th in the majors in runs scored and 29th in batting average. So we'll see what they can do here against the Padres, who are up 4-2. Got to be feeling pretty good handing the ball to Dylan Cease, who's 1-2 this season, a 4.91 ERA. Now, his last start, he dominated the Yankees, 6 2/3 innings, 1 hit. It was a home run, so a solo home run. Struck out 9 and walked 2 in a game we eventually saw the Padres lose in extra innings, 4-3. So he's going to be hoping for a little bit more run support in this one, and going up against the Angels, that seems likely. The Padres bullpen's been excellent this year, no doubt about that. They were the top bullpen for quite a while. They're now 4th in the majors with a bullpen ERA of under 3. And the offense, obviously excellent, guys. Manny Machado leading the way, hitting the cover off the ball. They're 7th in the majors in on-base percentage, 1st in batting average, somehow still 14th in runs scored. This team is due for some sort of breakout offensive performance, and it could be in this game, guys. The Padres are minus 200. The Angels are plus 164. We've got a total of 7.5. I'm not sure if I like the Padres at minus 200 enough to make them the lock of the day, but we'll see. The Angels 7-13 on the road, 11-9 to the over on the road. The Padres 14-4 at home, 11-6-1 to the under at home. So yeah, give me the Padres here at minus 200. You could maybe even talk me into the Padres minus 1.5 if you were super confident in them, but I'm not sure if this is going to knock off our previous pick for lock of the day. Rolling through these games, guys, we're looking at the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. Now, the Yankees and Mariners are playing right now. We've got the Yankees in the pinned comment. They're up 7-2 in the middle of the 5th, so hopefully they can hold on. Slam that like button if you're hoping that the Yankees hold on. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Max Fried, who's 6-0 on the year, a 1.05 ERA. Pretty much unquestionably has been the best pitcher in the majors this far through the season. And I mean, coming off a 0-walk, 8 strikeout appearance there against the Padres, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, and a 4-3 extra inning win there for the Yankees. The Yankees are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. They're actually undefeated with him on the mound this year. They're 8-0 with Fried on the mound this season. That is bonkers. We'll see if he can keep that going. Obviously, the Yankees bullpen has been reasonable, but not great recently. The offense obviously cruising, probably the best offense in the majors, and they're the highest scoring offense in the majors, so that is all borne out by the stats. They're going up against a Mariners team that's been better this year, but struggled against the Blue Jays, getting swept. Not in great shape in game 1 of this series. They're going to be handing the ball to Brian Wu, who's 4-1 on the season, a 3.25 ERA, coming off a bad start there against the Athletics, where tons of run support eventually bailed him out, kept him from taking the loss. But I mean, most of his starts this year have been solid, so I'm not going to give the guy too much crap. The Mariners' bullpen's been decent, but not elite. The offense has been very good at times, but also a little bit lacking here recently. They're still 10th in the majors in runs scored, though, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. The Yankees are minus 140. The Mariners are plus 120. We've got a total of 7. The Yankees are 10-9 on the road, 9-8-2 to the over on the road. Seattle 12-9 at home, 12-7-2 to the over at home. Guys, with Max Fried on the mound and the Yankees are only minus 140, I just have to take that. There's no way I'm going to pass up on that. Looks like they're going to win their current game, and it shouldn't be too much of a sweat. I think they probably win this one against the Mariners as well. So give me the Yankees here at minus 140. Rounding into our last couple of MLB games before we hop over to that NBA slate, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks in this one, guys. They're going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. Now, these two teams are playing right now. We've got the Arizona Diamondbacks in that game, and they are currently up 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. So hopefully they can finish that off strong. They're only 21-20 on the year. Hitting the ball in this game to Brandon Pfaadt, who's been good, 6-2 this season, a 3.28 ERA. Coming off a great start there against the Dodgers, where he gave up no runs over 6 1/3 innings in a 5-3 win there for Arizona. So good stuff there. Obviously, the bullpen continues to be the story there for the Diamondbacks, a 5.02 bullpen ERA. Not helping out too much. The offense has been good. Nobody's shocked to see they'd be a top 5 offense in the majors, so not going to dive too deep into that. The Diamondbacks, they can hit the ball. They can score some runs. Can they do that against the Giants here? We'll have to wait and see. San Francisco got swept by the Twins in the series before this, and they're losing 2-1. But a very close game going into the back half of the game. So we'll see how that goes. They're going to be hitting the ball to Robbie Ray in this one, who's 5-0 on the season, a 2.84 ERA. Now, his last start was against the Cubs. He was excellent against the Rockies before that. He's been very good his last 4 straight starts. And the Giants are 5-0 over those last 5 starts. So he's been great. The Giants bullpen, no problems there. Tops in the majors, a 2.53 bullpen ERA. The offense, though, leaves something to be desired, guys. They're technically 11th in the majors in runs scored, but they're due for some regression. 25th in batting average, 23rd in on-base percentage. Not exactly killing it. So this game, close to a coin flip. Diamondbacks, -115. Giants, -105. Got a total of 7.5. Arizona, 10-8 on the road. 9-8-1 to the over on the road. San Francisco, 12-5 at home. 10-7 to the under at home. I'm not going to be backing Robbie Ray in this spot. I think he's been getting a little bit lucky recently. Now, that Diamondbacks bullpen does sketch me out sometimes, actually all the time, but I don't know, guys. This game seems very, very close to me. I guess I'll side just slightly with the Diamondbacks at -115, but that offense going to have to outcarry that bullpen, and this one, not a pinned comment play. Last but not least on the MLB slate, before we look at those NBA playoff games, we've got the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. Now, these two teams, are they playing right now? No, that game is, they don't play in this one. Yeah, this is going to be the first game of the series. The Athletics lost 2 out of 3 there against the Yankees the series before this. They're going to be hitting the ball to Jeffrey Spriggs, who's 4-3 on the year, a 4.81 ERA. Coming off a good start against Seattle, albeit in a loss. Good start against Texas before that, but he's had his struggles this year, even had a bad start against the White Sox. So we'll see what he can do. The bullpen situation for, Sacramento, if you want to call them that, the Athletics, has been very bad. A 5.11 bullpen ERA. Sometimes it's canceled out by how good their offense has been. I mean, 5th in the majors in batting average and 6th in slugging percentage, but that's not always going to be enough to get you out of the woods here. And they're going to be going up against a Dodgers team that can hit the ball pretty hard. The Dodgers, 27-14 on the year. They just split a 4-game series there against the Diamondbacks. They're giving the ball to Landon Knack in this game, who's 2-0, a 4.61 ERA. The Dodgers are 4-0 in his starts this season. Not exactly against the cream of the crop, but he did have a good bullpen appearance against Chicago before they moved him into the rotation. So we'll see what he does in this one. The Dodgers bullpen has had some struggles recently, but is not terrible. And obviously that offense is insane, even without Hernandez. So yeah, 3rd in the majors in runs scored and 2nd in on-base percentage. They're going to be just fine. So there's a reason the Athletics are +170. The Dodgers are -205. We got a total of 9 or 9.5 out there. The Athletics, 13-7 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. 10-6-4 to the under on the road. The Dodgers, 15-3 at home. That's an MLB best mark at home. 11-7 to the over at home. This game feels a little bit close to me. A little bit coin flipping, and if it is, we should be leaning towards the Athletics at +170. Now, I think this is a good spot to maybe take over 9. That wouldn't bother me either with these two guys on the mound, but really not a spot I'm going to get very involved. Now, guys, let's hop over and look at this pretty short NBA slate. Obviously, it's 2 games. That's what we're going to be getting here in the playoffs. And first up, we've got the Indiana Pacers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, the Pacers have a chance to close things out here. They are up 3-1 after a crazy blowout 129-109 win there in Game 4. That one got out of control pretty quick. In the second quarter, we saw the Pacers outscore the Cavaliers 42-16. So not a ton we can draw from that one. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell hurting his ankle in that game. He's questionable for this one, which is a huge deal. But the Pacers in general played great in that game. Shot 15 of 35 from 3. Did a good job on the boards. We saw big numbers there from Miles Turner and Siakam. Halliburton didn't have to do too much really at all. 13 points from TJ McConnell, cashing our prop on McConnell there. And just a lot of positive stuff for the Pacers. They come into this game looking very healthy and ready to go. The Cavaliers, on the other hand, hand, are probably stoked with what they got from Garland. Maybe not stoked about his shooting. 13 points from Okoro coming off the bench is nice. They shot 40% from 3 and still got blown out in this game, though. That's got to be setting off some alarm bells. And Donovan Mitchell, questionable for this game, and even if he does play, do you really think he's going to be himself with a bum ankle? He relies a lot on his athleticism, so I'm pretty worried here for the Cavaliers. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, we see they're still 8-point favorites here. We got a total of 228.5. Indiana, 22-23 against spread on the road, 49-40-2 to the over. Cleveland, 23-22-1 against spread at home, 57-33 to the over. That's an NBA best mark to the over. So you could definitely talk me into over 228.5 in this game, although it's a potential closeout game, so maybe don't get too carried away with that. In terms of the side, though, I'm definitely taking the Pacers, getting 8 points here. If Donovan Mitchell is going to be limited, this Cavaliers team is going to struggle. They've needed him big time. So we'll see what he gets done in this one, but I'm going to be leaning here just a bit towards the Pacers and the points. In terms of a couple player props that I really like for this game, I like TJ McConnell here, over 7.5 points. Last couple games of the series, he scored in double digits and has gotten decent minutes, so I expect him to put up some points in this one, and when he gets out there, those shots tend to go in, even if they're mostly mid-rangers. You only got to make 4 of them, bud, to get us our 8 points. I also like Darius Garland here, over 6.5 assists. He had 6 helpers in Game 4 despite the Cavs getting blown out, with Mitchell likely to be limited and with his ankle issue in this one. I think we see the ball in Garland's hands a lot more than normal, and playing at home, we expect the role players to knock down some shots, so that should make him getting to 7 assists much more straightforward. Last but not least here, guys, we've got the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, the series is now tied up at 2 games apiece after the Thunder go into Denver and get the 92-87 win there in Game 4. We saw, pretty decent stuff from Denver. It depends. It depends on who you're looking at. Like Jokic, 7 of 22 from the field, but got 14 free throws, end up with 27 points, only 3 assists, but 13 boards. So doing his thing out there. Murray, pretty inefficient shooting. Brown, pretty inefficient shooting. Michael Porter Jr., horrible, falling off a cliff there. 0-5 of 3, only had 3 points in the entire game. Was still somehow a plus 15, though. I guess you have to note that. But Westbrook, a terrible shooting night. A lot of problems there for the Nuggets. Now, in terms of their health, they come into this game fully healthy, but not off of their best performance. The Thunder, on the other hand, had to love what they got from SGA. Pretty good shooting night, despite not making any threes. Had 25 points. 3 double-digit scores coming off the bench, really showcasing the depth of this team. Now, Jalen Williams could have been benched down the stretch in that game. He didn't look great. Chet had a bad offensive night, but had 13 boards, so definitely some positives out there for the Thunder, who also looks like they should be fully healthy and ready to go for this game. So, looking at the numbers, the Thunder are 10.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 221. Denver, 22-23-1 against spread on the road. 54-39 to the over. The Thunder, 30-13-2 against spread at home. That's pretty wild. This is NBA best against spread at home. They are also a slight over team. So over 221 could be live in this game, but with the rock fights we've seen so far in this series, maybe this is an under spot, especially with some, fatigue kicking in here. In terms of the side, I'm definitely taking the Nuggets, getting 10.5 points. That's just too many points. I know playing in Oklahoma City can be tough, but I think Jokic and company find a way to keep this to single digits at a minimum. But I've also got some player props I like for this game, and you're not going to be too shocked on this one. We're going back to the well with the under on SGA's points, under 31.5. Since it's at home, maybe this is slightly lower value, but I just don't think the Nuggets and the officials are going to allow him to rule this game by putting up a ton of points. He's going to get the line a ton of times, so I think he's going to struggle to get over 30. I like Caruso here over 7.5 points. Had 10 off the bench in 28 minutes in Game 4. Now going back home, they're going to need him to put up a similar amount of scoring. He had a 20-point pop-off game in Game 1 at home. He's capable of having a solid, shooting night, a solid scoring night. So getting to, 8 to 10 points shouldn't be too crazy for him. And last but not least, guys, I like Aaron Gordon over 6.5 boards. He had 16 rebounds in Game 4, had well over this number in 3 of the 4 games in this series, and his overall size and athleticism make him a real problem on the glass for a Thunder team that basically doesn't have the bulk to deal with him at all. Guys, that's all the games we have for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. For sure, get over to stumpthespread.com, get on that email list so you don't miss out on any more of those no-run first inning parlays or any other parlays or picks we put in that email newsletter. Get in the comments, let me know anything you want to say about these picks. I appreciate you watching, guys, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.